Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting to the end of the day. It's the last game. We've had 4 fantastic games, 2 on Erangel, 2 on Miramar. We've had really 4 well-deserved winners. So the InsideGames, Milky Way, Unity, and Tornado Energy. But Sanhok, it's the jungle, baby. Who's gonna conquer it?
I was just tweeting just to ensure, people made sure they came to the last game, and I was like, Sanhok, that's where the spanner gets thrown in the works. Things you think and then Sanhok happens.
Definitely. But we look at the leaderboard after these games. Overall, we see PG18 holding on top. Looking at the bottom though, because the focus has to be on kind of the top. On the bottom 12 positions, or the bottom positions where you have Jokers holding on to that 12th place. Tempest are only 3 points behind. Last Crew only 5 points behind Tempest. And BetterLuckNxTime, look, they're sticking in there. They're less than 20 points away from Last Crew, and they're only like 20-something points away from Tempest. So it's really close. And then you have Northern Lights and YMCA on the same points. It's crazy close between these teams.
I mean, it's crazy. We saw Northern Lights. They jump up to 8th. They haven't really had as good a day today because they've been caught out in these fights kind of early, and some of it has been to do with sort of unfortunate rotations and just where they've landed after jumping out of the plane, and some of it has just been because they've been aggressed upon by other teams and they haven't won out those fights.
Indeed. Now, looking at Sanhok map and the teams that have, I suppose, grabbed hold of the map more than others, as I said previously, when we look at the other maps, you see 3 to 4 teams are very close together in the overall points that they've grabbed in the map, right? When you look at Sanhok, PG18 and ELGIG have 87 points in 8 games, and PG18 have 78 points in 8 games, and you have InsideGames having 63 points in 8 games. Outside of that, the next lowest is something like 48 points by Northern Lights. So there is much more of a drop-off compared to the other maps.
Definitely true. And, ELGIG, we mentioned this yesterday. We were really looking for them to kind of pop off on Sanhok. And they didn't have the best day. But now seeing this first circle show itself on the map, they are well within the very center of that, pretty much. Yeah. And it's a good place to be in, given that there's quite a lot of water being involved in this circle placement. So a lot of those teams, especially teams like YMCA, like BetterLuckNxTime, have to move up.
Now we see a bit of a different drop spot by Airstation Mike. They've dropped in Painan, and you have a 3-1 split for Team Moops. Hawkey's a little bit further away from the rest of his team. He could provide a bit of a back end pressure for onto the side of Airstation Mike if he does rotate in that direction. But he's also got to be aware, because Quick Math is a little bit to the east of where Hawkey is. So it's going to be tough for Team Moops. That fight in Painan, whoever comes out on top is definitely going to have to rotate pretty quickly. Now, the team, we talked about them. They love to take boats. They didn't last game. They didn't yesterday. Last Crew.
They always go to that very similar part of the map. And, I was going to say they're usually undisturbed while they're grabbing their boats, but Tornado Energy pretty close, although it actually looks like they're just going to be going straight for the bridge, where Milky Way are waiting at the other end. Well, yeah. 2 of them are. We've got Mans and DP, whereas the other 2 split up a little bit, and that's potentially where Example's going for that. But right now, ToWzErA is going to be the first player to be receiving quite a bit of flack as Moops start to lay in the damage. But they're going to, feel it a little bit back. Fake throws in that nade, and also Double's going to be going down. So there we go. The first player to actually die is going to be a member of Team Moops. They tried to take that engagement with Airstation Mike, but right now, K-Doran and Hugstar, they're kind of right next to each other, and that's where we could potentially see this next fight ensuing.
Well, Hugstar has thrown out smoke grenades. The reason why is because that gives him the vision and protection to get away and join up the rest join up with the rest of his Airstation Mike team. So that's really great play. Very intelligent coming out from Hugstar. Reggie Beardo is there. K Doran is there. They're inside that building. K Doran flanks around and does get that knockdown and catches out Hugstar, leaving it 2-3 against 2. All the while in this picture-in-picture, we have Milky Way and Tornado Energy going at each other. The Vector putting in the work. K Doran gets that knockdown, catches them out. Fake gets knocked down, leaving, well, actually, no. I was going to say leaving ToWzErA alive, but Airstation Mike ending today's games, ending the week, going out in 16th place.
Definitely disappointing for them. They did fairly well on the last game. They came in that 3rd place, and they've been pretty good on Sanhok in the past. This isn't the first 16th place on Sanhok they've had this week, but right now it's going to be Milky Way who are laying in the pressure to ELGIGANTEN. KnorkiS and MOORPHEUS going to be feeling it. KnorkiS actually going to be falling down. Things going back onto iZoom, but regardless, Marcelek's going to be the next to be feeling it as String tried to lay in those bullets as he crawled away. The thing is, is he going to get healed up? Well, straight into the head. Doesn't actually get a headshot on that one, but the damage was there regardless. And ELGIGANTEN will be 15th. We said Kings of Sanhok. Wow. No, not today.
My jaw has dropped. Milky Way, my friends, you need the points. You need to get that game. Man, are you making a count in this last game of the day? They do currently find themselves in 9th place, just holding on to that top 12 spot. So another couple of points in their favor will give them a nice bit of a bridge gap against the teams around them.
And the fact that the first 2 teams to be finding eliminations onto other teams are Team Moops and Milky Way, that's really exciting. I mean, we saw earlier on in the day, Milky Way, they did get that chicken dinner on Erangel, and Team Moops, they got 3rd place on Miramar as well. So we've actually seen some pretty good play coming out of these teams, and that was one of the things we commented at the beginning of the day, Imperium, was that these are teams that need to be finding those points, and it's nice to see them actually doing that and onto teams that matter.
Definitely. So we see these teams, they are definitely starting to rotate. Tornado Energy, they made their way up into the circle from the west island. On the west side of the northwest island, you have Last Crew deciding against the boats and going across the bridge. They could look to kind of camp around 3D Max, who are down the south side of them. You also, YMCA have made their way up ahead of Team Moops, and then you have BetterLuckNxTime are on the mainland island to the east of Team Moops. All the while up in the north, you have Jokers. They are on their own. InsideGames gone from Paradise Resort to the edge of the mainland, and then Tempest are now rotating into the circle from the far east.
Yeah, they've made a really broad rotation. They'll probably come into contact with the Jokers most likely if they're all trying to get to that bridge at the same time. Tempest, pretty good team when it comes to fighting. They've had their ups and downs today. Hani did have particularly good damage stats earlier on in the day, and Hjort actually managed to get the better of Airstation Mike in some of the fights in our last map. So that would definitely be an interesting one to see, especially as Jokers haven't done that great. But right now, AK Skills trying to land some shots onto Phantom. He's actually blown up that vehicle now, which is going to prevent his commute any further. Meanwhile, the rest of 3D Max, they are a little bit further away, but that's definitely going to stunt their plans.
Well, yeah, because that scout going across the bridge did give intel for 3D Max, and now PG-18 connects on demands of Milky Way, and iZoom just trying to provide that little bit of cover fire, but does not realize that Recren is there, tries to back away, but Recren stabs him in the back with those bullets. DPs also around. You have Ostring flanking around at the side of the hill, going down a little bit lower. DP's behind that rock, peeking, trying to find and catch out anybody from PG-18 to stop that push. PG-18, they came up from the south side, actively looking for these teams, knowing that there's going to be at least one team on top of this hill. Mans does get confirmed by PG-18. DP's trying to find those shots off, but PG-18 was able to back away or avoid those shots as Ostring tries to find a Wanderer. Wanderer down to about 20 health. Ostring then repositions. So great reaction coming out from both DP and Ostring as they look for the shots and then they reposition themselves, because they know the second they fire those shots off, if they don't move, they're going to get return firing on.
And it's not even just that. I mean, at this point, Offstring, he's using a 2-time scope. You can't really take those fights on your own if you are forced to play so much closer because of the scope that you are playing with. Whereas a lot of those players on the side of PG18 playing the much more preferred QBZ that you often see people play on this map, whereas there are a lot of M4s on the side of Milky Way. So a lot of it does come down to those preferences. Do you have the equipment that you would rather have at this point in the game? Well, Turbo Banani going to be getting that confirmed kill onto Reggie Beardo.
Now StarLadder, he finds Hawkey, gets that knockdown. Great response coming out from YMCA, but K Doran in a round aside does connect onto Turbo Banani. Sampula, StarLadder, got to be very, very careful by sneaky K Doran, who's the last member standing from T-Moves. T-Moves, they want to end on a high note. They can push up against YMCA, but it's a 3-man YMCA, so it's going to be very tough. The only thing for K Doran that could go in his favor is that BetterLuckNxTime are kind of distracting a YMCA, but so are 3D Max, because Solar comes in, so does Furax. They're getting the better of everybody around them for now, and K Doran is just waiting, proning, hoping that he doesn't get spotted out of Solar. They're inside the blue, but it doesn't matter. It's only phase 2 blue. It's not doing the worst tick damage on these teams. He's just trying to make their way into a circle, driving through anybody they can.
Yeah, actually, I reckon 3D Max is going to head down to the bridge and come back up through the southwest side, because the pressure that will be applied there by not only YMCA, but also K Doran from Moops and BetterLuckNxTime just makes it kind of not really worth it to try and battle through all of those just to have that more direct route. So given that the tick damage isn't that bad, they could take that rotation.
Definitely.
They're looking like they're getting a little bit distracted here. Solar's moving on forward towards YMCA. I'd much rather see them just focus on the rotation, make sure they come in through another part of the circle, get into a better position, rather than just being distracted, seeing the shiny potential fights. Just get themselves in that nice position where they can go through the next part and the next phase of the game stronger.
Now, last crew, they're making their way up that hill where PG18 holds on to. We see these teams rotating. How is the circle going to shift? Is it going to shift up north? No, actually shift down southwest. We've seen similar circles like this in previous games where we saw the top of that hill that PG18 holds on to being a very dominant location, and AKA skills pays the price by being knocked down. Grenade is going to fly out in the direction. Hits on top of the roof.
Bounce.
Doesn't quite connect, unfortunately, but it is going to push last crew back. Once again, the revive not going to come on through. AKA skills taken out. Muck Rip inside that building. The third member of last crew is a little bit down behind. What a grenade to take down Muck. Will it be enough?
I was going to say, you know, he's using that utility. He's investing those grenades, and it's a very hard shot to make. Another nade's being thrown in by D's. The Wanderer's going to throw in another one with the Molotov, and now he's looking to get those shots. These guys from last crew did not stand a chance. Mug is going to be going down, as is set from Jokers.
Jappy could provide a little bit of a surprise attack if Wanderer isn't fully aware. Now he is definitely a little bit more aware. Yes, he sees the peaks. The back of Jappy is definitely exposed. The bag was exposed. Great precision, great awareness by all of PG18, as now he turns his attention back onto Rip. The peak comes through, connects onto Rip, puts him down to about 50 health. Now Grenade is going to pop on through. Will it? Oh no, it's a flashbang actually. Yeah, it was a flashbang, but he didn't take advantage of it. Rip is just going to stay behind that building. The peak's coming through. It's a one-on-one all the while in the picture-in-picture. YMCA are going across the bridge on the south side. They're going to get very close to BetterLuckNxTime. 3D Max did what you said, Gio. They made their way up from that west side bridge up onto the west side, past Camp Alpha, into the circles. PG18 Rip is going to get taken out from last crew, leaving Jappy the only one that's left standing.
Yeah, Recramp finally decided that instead of just throwing in nades and throwing in all of those utilities that they have, he would just jump down into the hut. There wasn't really all that much the Rip was going to be able to do against Mug was dead at that point. He was just kind of trapped you know, in that hut, really fairly helpless. Now Jappy, he's hiding behind this rock. PG-18 know where he is. That puts Last Crew, you know, the remaining member of Last Crew in this really tough position, especially when you look at how PG-18 are positioned where they have so much kind of flanking control of that part of the map.
So the high ground that InsideGames held on to, it was put under pressure by BetterLuckNxTime down below. BetterLuckNxTime have got to be aware that they've got Quick Maths to the east of them, and they've got Quick Maths to the west of them. They've got Northern Lights to east of them. Actually, 3 members of Northern Lights are flanking around behind BetterLuckNxTime, but they are across the road. I don't know if BetterLuckNxTime are fully aware of where Northern Lights are located. OK Bro is providing that level of distraction, and Silenzo connects on to Fate. Fate gets taken down. Northern Lights then come in and put the damage onto BetterLuckNxTime as Faultlessly and Kizik gets knocked down. Faultlessly does get taken out, leaving Arctic's on his own. Kizik is going to get taken out. BetterLuckNxTime find themselves eliminated. Northern Lights and InsideGames coming together along with the help of Quick Math to take them down.
And BetterLuckNxTime, one of these teams that actually were really showing up today, so kind of unfortunate for them that they've been taken down so early. We do have our next circle, though. We've got teams like PG-18, like Milky Way, who are really kind of occupying the center area of that. 3D Max probably going to be pretty happy that they made the rotation that they did. That puts them in a good spot because they are still inside that circle, in actually an area that's not really very contested. They have the loot that's very close to them, though. But, you know, we can see Tornado Energy Compot, he can actually see where they are, and that loot could almost be used as bait.
It could be, but 3D Max are going to have to be very careful with how they flank around as Bookie connects on Tilly. YMCA do go down. It was only kind of a matter of time as Jappy, last member of Last Crew, connects onto Sampula. So it's going to be another point for Last Crew considering how pressured they are. The Melman is on that bike looking to rotate on. He's going to get very close to the likes of Compot and 3D Max, so it's definitely going to be tough as Hanny pushes on through. Quick Math and Northern Lights, they help together, they banded together to get the better of BetterLuckNxTime, and now they turn their attentions onto each other.
Pretty brutal, but right now things calm down a little bit. Quick Math all still staying together. That's something that they have been fairly good at, is all staying kind of rather close together. But we can actually see Northern Lights, they do have the high ground in this situation. They're just going to look for those angles onto that more covered area that Quick Math occupy. Now, taking a look here at Unity, they can see Tempest just across the way in some of the, other houses that are just across the road in the next kind of compound along.
Yeah, and Unity have the low ground. InsideGames have the high ground. The good thing is that Unity do have space. You have Tempest making their way up north. Clip connects onto Nukta, so that's going to be good for Tempest to try and get into the circle. But with Compot then across the road, it's very hard for Tempest. Hanny gets knocked down. Bookie trying to hide behind that tree. Melman is going to look to get revived. That could give a bit more space to the rest of Tempest to drive on through past that road, but Bookie gets knocked down. Clib is the last one standing, but very low on health. Manages to get that health kit off, but with all of Unity looking now, we see Compot getting that final blow. Tempest are eliminated in 11th place.
And this is kind of what I was saying about Tempest. You know, they were in that situation. Unity had good sights on them. They were getting in a lot of damage. Tornado Energy ended up joining in as well. And eventually they just got caught out. It was too hard for them to kind of cross that road. They were just too vulnerable. And now the circle is moving in and the fights are still going on. Pelsic going to be the last to deal any damage, getting it onto Boom. But Odstrelovac is also getting a good nade onto Quizzy. Snoopy turning things around onto members of InsideGames. Odstrelovac finally going to be going down. And Snoopy, really, for the side of Unity, is the one doing so much of this work, finally getting that shot onto Zampeek and allowing his team to move on forward. Orange is actually getting very close to seniks as well, while Snoopy's moving up onto Pixel. So Unity aren't being afraid to be aggressive in this situation, apply that pressure to force InsideGames out of their position, or at the very least, make them nervous.
Yeah, so it was a really great play by Snoopy. And the rest of the Unity team did work together to kind of give Snoopy that space. Orange, with the movement, did try to get away, but Compot from Tornado Energy punishing him. Could punish the likes of seniks as well, who's moving a little bit closer. Snoopy is just kind of in the little kind of alcove of that rock down below, trying to keep himself alive, as well as PG18, who've held his high ground for pretty much all of this game. Connects these onto Spiro. Okay, bro, it's a one-on-one, and Northern Lights get eliminated in 10th. PG18, they've got 7 kills already. Plenty of players left alive as Zampeek connects onto the Wanderer.
We mentioned it a couple of phases ago how PG18 were well positioned. They remain that way as the circle has really been playing out in their favor. And now no one is south of them or really anywhere around, so they can kind of just wait for all these other teams to eat into one another, which we are seeing with Melman going down and the Wanderer being, well, the Wanderer is having some damage put in on him, but mostly PG18 don't have all that much to worry about. Going to have to rotate somewhat now that the circle moves out of their favor, but they're already making progress there with that.
Oh, off string was able to catch out Noki, but Solo was there to provide that level of cover, and it was great play by 3D Max. They'll be able to take them out. Last crew are taken down by the play zone, eliminated in 9th place. 8 teams left. Quick math down on the low ground. You have Ubika up high. You have DP there. You also have Compa on the edge of those rocks, looking to punish. Gets on top, jumps up high. Really great position, but it's not enough because a grenade flies through, connects onto Compa. Tornado Energy get taken out in 8th place. We're down to 7 players, 7 teams, 15 players left up.
And now DP is going to have to be the member of this map who is concerned. He is on his own out of all the players of Milky Way, the only one remaining, and he is going to very soon be surrounded by Quick Math. He does have that high ground, but 1 against 4 against such a well-coordinated team, this is going to be something that he should be concerned about, especially as Diggory is getting closer and he has been one of their star players thus far. Some other rotations happening elsewhere on the map. PG18 moving in towards 3D Max, whose attention is being turned up to Quick Math. And Zelenzo, though, going to be getting a shot onto Ubica, just showing how strong they are remaining. But now DP's actually getting their attention by shooting in onto them. He actually brings Peltage down, which is quite surprising given how well positioned Quick Math were. But they're just going to be moving away and leaving him to his own devices right now.
Solar connects onto Ubica, takes him out. 3D Max are eliminated, but confirming that kill gives him an extra point. It was always going to be under pressure with that blue zone. The next phase pops up. It centralizes into favor. 3D Max are in the center circle. 1 member to point out. 1 player to point out is Moon from Jokers. Has stayed damn quiet. So has Snoopy, but Snoopy actually has to go into the blue zone to get around that rock to try and keep himself alive as he has to make his way up into the circles. Quick Math, they have all of the 3-man advantage on their side, pushing their way up that hill. Snoopy in the middle of this kind of like 2 rocks, just kind of pushing his way through. He has the low ground, but he could stay pretty well protected where he is. As Recrant looking for the shots onto Encelenzo. Quick Math, they have the low ground. InsideGames, PG18 are around them. Got to be very, very careful as a grenade pops on through. PG18 trying to provide as much area of cover to keep the likes of Quick Math getting closer to their location.
You have to bear in mind where seniks is means that he will be able to provide that intel and actually get that shot onto DP right now. Milky Way is now going to be eliminated. The next circle coming online. Quick Math really controlling a lot of that. Jupesic is very close to where seniks and Pixel both are, but you can kind of see the way the rock sticks out means that they are somewhat concealed right now, but then you look down and you see where members like Moon and Snoopy are right on the low ground. They really have the disadvantage in this situation because if they want to get those kills, they have to climb. But if they climb, they're putting themselves in a dangerous spot. So the question is going to be, is it worth to even go through and do that? Or is it just better to kind of get caught? I mean, Moon is right on this border here.
I don't think Snoopy knows that Moon is there. Would he have heard the little footsteps? I don't know if Moon knows that Snoopy is there. He's peeking through. No, Snoopy had no idea. Moon is going to find him.
He's just standing there.
What the hell? It took him a little bit of time. But now
he just stared at him.
Now Uni get taken out in 5th place. We're down to 4 teams. It comes down to this final phase. Moon is not going to really be able to do anything or go anywhere. He's completely pinched by the edge of that rock. He has to go into the blue zone, so he's most likely going to be the first team to go out. Pixies actually kind of says, you know what? I'm going to grab another point for myself and do himself some as Pixies falls down that hill. Will get taken down, leaving InsideGames down to one member. We've got 3 teams left standing. PG18, Quick Math, great grenade by ToWzErA to connect onto D's, leaving Quick Math down to just 2 players. That's going to be Degree and ToWzErA.
And Quick Math, being the team that has had the most people for a little while now. Enzo has been knocked down, but all hope is not lost. The nades are being thrown out, though. There's some smoke from D, so they're actually going to jump down. Recruit losing a lot of health in the process, but QM are the ones who do end up dealing that final damage on. Some suicides at the end lead Quick Math to take the round.
That was a crazy end that came down to that last finish. It's because those last circles with the mountains involved, you can only go up in, you can go up in plenty of places, but when the circle closes in, there's very limited places that you can go. Snoopy had the low ground, as did Moon from Jokers, and it just got to the point where it was a dead end.
It is hard to get that vertical movement when you are so limited by where you can go. And that's why I said at some point, when Moon was still there, I said, maybe this is a time for him to just go out into the blue, allow himself to die. He didn't do that. He was a little bit opportunistic and decided to take that last kill. But then he still decided to remain in play. And at that point, that's when he should have potentially been like, okay, I'm going to take myself out so that I don't hand this over to anyone. There's very little chance of me being able to actually make my way up. We never once saw him try to throw a nade up the mountain, but even in the instance that he have, all that a team like Quick Maths would have had to have done is look down, be like, okay, well, a nade came from that direction, let's just catch this guy out. So that's kind of potentially where that play could have been done a little bit better for Jokers there, because the whole round ended in suicides because the other players who were still on the map realized there was no other way that it was really going to work out for them. Quick Maths were going to win. The best they could do is deny those points.
Exactly, pretty much. But great last game for a couple of these teams. PG18 racking up the kill points, getting more placement points, showing up that consistency on top of the leaderboard. They also are one of the top teams on Sanhok, making that count. InsideGames also racking up a nice bunch of kills, and of course those high placement points. Again, one of the top teams that have the best of Sanhok, so to speak, on their side. We saw 3D Max and Milky Way going at each other. 3D Max also had a pretty nice end to today's game. Should hold on to one of those top spots in second or third. And Milky Way, they got pinched in the end, but I'm still happy with how good of a day they had overall.
Oh, same. It was something that we called out that they would have to really be looking to achieve today. And I'm actually very excited to look to see what those final standings are, to see how this is shaken up. We know that over the course of this week, there have been certain teams that have clawed their way up to the top of the table, at least out of those real danger zones. So, oh God, that mannequin.
Wow.
So to see those final standings when they, come up on the screen, and be able to see how those teams are looking, because there's only 1 week left.
Indeed. We're going to be going into the last 4 days of the final stage. It's been a crazy amount of weeks. We've seen kind of group stage of Group A, group stage of Group B. We saw the top 8 teams qualify. They accumulated together. They've come kind of joined forces, and now they're battling out to make it into top 12 spot. But only one team getting 0 points in that game. That's ELGIG. Airstation Mike got 1 point, as did BetterLuckNxTime and Tempest.
ELGIG getting 0 points. I mean,
Shane,
I think we're just caster cursing them. Next week, just don't mention that they're good at Sanhok.
Pretty much, yeah.
See how that goes.
Yeah,
maybe that will change things over. And then we should be surely seeing the top of the standings for this one. I mean, yeah, Team Moops didn't do too terribly, getting 4 points. They were all kill points, none of them placement points. And then as we look at the top quick maths, they come away with 17 points, 7 of which were kills, and then, of course, 10 going to be because of placements. And actually, Milky Way ended up getting the most number of kill points. They got 11 in total, but 9 for the kills. And I mean, unsurprising, right? We saw a lot of aggression coming out from them today, and they really asserted themselves, and that's what we wanted to see.
Yeah, the top 4 teams' performance in that game did speak for itself. PG18, Quick Math, Inside Games, and Milky Way, of course, pulling in strong. Recurrent getting top of the damage leaderboard, but followed closely by Offstring and Milky Way and DP as well. So two of the Milky Way players in top 3 from a damage point of view. And then we saw Quick Math also joining in very closely behind on the likes of the 300 damage on each of those players.
Yep, and now we see the kill leaderboard. So DP at the top from Milky Way. Again, unsurprising when we looked to see that they got the highest number of kill points. Milky Way as well, Offstream coming in second with Recurrent drawing with that from PG18. And then our first Quick Math player is Diggory with 3. And I mean, he's kind of their pressure. He's the guy who applies the pressure, applies the aggression.
Yeah, Diggory's
and he is a great player for them.
He is. Quick Math, 1,000 damage, 7 kills. PG18, 1,382 damage with 8 kills. So very similar, very nice kind of conversion rate from damage to kill. And Silenzo and Recurrent, the head-to-head, 739 damage from Recurrent and 5 kills alone. Well, sorry, 4 kills alone.
Yeah, it did really well there. And Silenzo, I mean, he wasn't the highest scoring player of Quick Math, but nonetheless, here are your standings. So at the top, we have PG18, followed by 3D Max and Inside Games. Those are your top 3 teams. We have teams like Unity. They've managed to remain in that 4th spot. Tornado Energy not far behind. Airstation Mike slipped down into 6th. But then, 7 and 8, Quick Math, Milky Way, they've kind of solidified those areas, pushing ELGIGANTEN down. And then when you look at your bottom 4, Tempest, Last Crew, BetterLuckNxTime, Team Moops, those are the same 4 teams that we saw in those last 4 spots. So a lot of the movement is occurring in those standings between 5 and 11, and that's where I think we're really going to be wanting to look coming into the last week to see what happens there.
It's definitely a crazy change when we looked at the start of the week as well, like where we saw the likes of Airstation Mike dominating the top spot, and then they slipped down, and the likes of Inside Games, Tornado Energy, Unity, they've all really picked up their game. They've really pushed on through. So I'm damn excited to get into next week's set of games. But before that, of course, we have an action-packed set of PEL games coming up this weekend, starting from tomorrow evening right through to Sunday. So get excited for that. I think it's the second last weekend for PEL. But of course, that's going to be it for us. Thank you to Gio for joining me for the majority of this week. I'm going to be back next week with the one and only James Banks. So get hyped for that. Same time on Monday, 7 p.m. CEST. Have a great weekend and see you soon.